The fourth unit is ALU, arithmetic and logic unit. You know already the importance of arithmetics, that is plus, minus, division, multiplication, etc. and all that. Why? What is the need of arithmetics? You know. You may not know the real use of logical operations. This arithmetical logical unit performs both the operations, arithmetical operations as well as logical operations. Actually, here I have to tell you the importance of logical operations, then only you can understand the importance of this component. Actually, in mathematics also use different operators: greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to. These are all, in computer science, these are called relational operators. They define the relation between two operands. Suppose A is greater than B, that we are checking whether A is greater than B or not. A is greater than or equal to B, whether A is either greater or equal to B. Like that, these are the relational operators. Thereafter, whenever we use multiple conditions, we have to connect with operators like and, or, not, etc. So, these things I don't want to go in detail. These are the relational operators and the logical operators. These are very important for taking decision. Suppose you want to purchase an article, purchase a pen for 10 rupees. 10 rupees. So, when you purchase pen, the offer price is 10 rupees or less than 10 rupees. The offer price is more than 10 rupees, you never purchase, you may not purchase. Understand? So, everywhere to take a decision, you compare, then these operators plays a vital role. Who will do that? In a computer, which component will perform the job? That is arithmetical logical unit. Here, simple case study I give you, simple case study. By that you can easily understand the importance of arithmetical as well as logical operations. In a company, if a worker works 250 hours, then he is paid 40 rupees per hour. That means minimum working hours are 250 per month. If he works more than 250, he will be paid double. That means how much he paid? 80 rupees per hour he is paid. This is the case. Once again I repeat, a worker must work minimum 250 hours in a month total. If he works more than 250 hours in a month, for the extra hours he is paid overtime, double of the wage. That means 80 rupees is paid. Now, this is the problem. Now, one worker worked for 300 hours in a month. In a month he worked. Now we see which operations are there and all that. Actually, first thing is 250 hours he worked. 250 into 40. What type of operation is it? This is arithmetical operation. That means 10,000 rupees he gets normal wage. Next, whether actually computer does not know, it does not have any brain. So, one expression we have to write. What is that? Whether working hours are more than 250 or not. That is logic. More than 250 or not. In this case, that is logical operation. What is the logical operation? Total working hours are, whether total working hours are more than 250 or not. That you have to test. Okay, then only he is entitled for OT. Now, how many additional hours he worked, again arithmetical. What is that? Minimum number of hours to work 250. How many total number of hours he worked? 300. Totally OT hours 50. For OT hours, how much he is getting? 80 rupees. So 4000 rupees is getting as a OT wage. Now what is this? This is a logical operation. Whether he worked greater than 250 or not, that is a logical operation. If it is so, then only this is calculated. If he works less than or equal to 250, he is not entitled for OT. That point you have to understand. Here is a logical operation. If it is true, this logical operation becomes true. That means actual working hours are greater than minimum number of working hours. Then this operation will make. What is that? Total number of working hours, total number of hours of work, and minimum number of hours. That is, here subtraction we made. Again what we are doing? Again arithmetical operation, multiplication we are making as a result of that 4000. Then this is the minimum normal wage, this is the OT wage. Then what we are doing? Again addition we are making. 14,000 is the total wage of the worker. See that simple transaction, how many operations we are performing, what type of operations we are performing? We are performing both arithmetical operations and logical operations. Who will perform that? ALU. Arithmetic logical unit will perform that. It is actually, because of its functionality is unique, we are treating as a separate component. Actually this is part and parcel of the central processing unit. That point you have to understand. What is the fifth one? CU, that is control unit. So once again I am telling you, these both together are called CPU, central processing unit. Its functionality is different. What is this? This is like a CEO of the computer system, Chief Executive Officer. It controls the entire operation of the computer system. Actually, it performs different types of jobs. As a receiver, it receives information and it receives instructions from the input unit. Executor, and it executes all the operations. It coordinates all the components of the system, and it interacts with the different devices. It acts like a liaison officer. So in this manner, this control unit is the chief executive officer, acts like chief executive officer of the computer system, and it plays different roles, and without any conflict between different components, it will see all operations are performed smoothly. That point you have to understand. This is very vital, this thing. So, but both together are called, technically both together are called CPU, that is central processing unit. Finally, secondary storage unit. Secondary storage unit. Actually, in every computer, a permanent storage is required. That is normally hard disk, the permanent storage. Actually, already I talked about memory, prime memory, random access memory, or prime memory, or main memory. That is memory. That is a small memory comparatively with the secondary memory. That is the current working memory. But permanently, because today we write a program or perform any operations, we want to store it for future need. So in the secondary memory only we can store them. Its size is very big comparatively with the size of the RAM. This is too big. Size of the RAM may be 18 GB and all that. It may be in terabytes. Its size is very, very big. It is in gigabytes, terabytes and all that. And it is a permanent storage of this thing. And here, simple example I give you. Now I am writing several things on the board. several things are the board. That is, if you call it as a data, all this information is wiped off. Now, whatever you are seeing, after few seconds you cannot find. This is like a RAM. You understand, whatever writings, whatever data I am writing on the board is like a RAM. And in order to permanently have this data, what you do, you write it in your notebook. That is like a secondary storage device. So that you have to understand. And one more thing I have to tell you, main memory is very small comparatively with this, but main memory is much faster than secondary memory. And one more important point is, whatever data is stored in the secondary memory cannot be processed directly. Whatever data you want to process, first from the secondary memory, it should be brought to the main memory. It should be brought to the main memory, then only operations are performed. After operations are over, again for the permanent storage, it goes back, it sends back to the secondary memory. So these are the detailed functionalities of all 6 units, and later concepts we study them in depth.